let's please welcome Abbie Hamilton.
Hi. As she said, I am a sophomore at Skyline in Salt Lake City, and I'm Abbie Hamilton. My story is called The Frog Prince Continued. The princess kissed the frog. He turned into a prince, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Well, let's just say they lived sort of happily. For a long time. Okay, so maybe they weren't so happy. In fact, they were miserable. Stop sticking your tongue out like that, nagged the princess. How come you never want to go to the pond anymore? Whined the frog prince. They were both so unhappy, they didn't know what to do. I would prefer that you not hop on the furniture, and it might be nice if you got out of the castle once in a while, to slay a dragon or giant or whatever. The prince didn't feel like slaying anything. He just felt like running away. But then he reread his story, and it said it right there at the end of the book. And he lived happily ever after. The end. So the prince stayed a while and drove the princess crazy. Then one day, the princess threw a perfectly awful fit. First, you keep me awake all night with your horrible croaking snore. Then I find a lily pad in your pocket. I can't believe I actually kissed your slimy frog lips. Sometimes I think we would both be better off if you were still a frog. That's when the idea hit him. Still a frog? Yes! And he ran off into the forest in search of a witch who could turn him back into a frog. He hadn't gone far when he found just the person he was looking for. Miss Witch? Miss Witch? Excuse me, Miss Witch. I'm the Frog Prince, and I wonder if you could help me. You aren't looking for a princess to kiss, are you? Oh, no. I'm the Frog Prince. I've already been kissed. Actually, I was hoping you could turn me back into a frog. That's funny. You don't look like a frog. Well, no matter. A prince is a prince, and I can't have any princes rescuing Snow White before, well, you know. I'll just have to cast a nasty spell on you. Let me see. The prince didn't stick around to see which nasty spell the witch had in mind. He ran deeper into the forest. Soon he came upon a tiny cottage with another lady who might help him. Miss Witch? Miss Witch? Excuse me, Miss Witch. I'm a prince, and I wonder if you could help me. Eh? What did you say? Prince? No, I mean, yes, I'm the Frog Prince. Actually, I was hoping you could turn me back into a frog so that I can live happily ever after. That's funny. I thought frogs were little green guys with webbed feet. Well, no matter. A prince is a prince, and I can't have any princes rescuing Sleeping Beauty till her 100 years are up. So here, eat the rest of this apple. Now, the prince, who knew his fairy tales and knew a poisoned apple when he saw one, didn't even stay to say no thank you. He ran deeper into the forest. Soon he came upon a strange-looking house with a witch outside. So he got up his courage. Miss Witch? Miss Witch? Excuse me, Miss Witch. I'm the Frog Prince, and I wonder if you could help me. If you're a frog, then I'm making a friend. No, I'm not a frog. I'm the Frog Prince, and I'm looking for a member of your profession who can turn me back into a frog so that I can live happily ever after. Can you do it for me? The witch eyed the prince and licked her rather plump lips. get you in for lunch. The prince stopped on the slightly gummy steps. There was something awfully familiar about this house. He just couldn't put his finger on it. He broke off a piece of the windowsill and tasted it. Gingerbread. I hope you don't mind me asking, Miss Witch, but do you happen to know any children by the name of Hansel and Gretel? Why, yes, Prince darling, I do. I'm expecting them for dinner. Now, as we said before, the prince knew his fairy tales, so he ran as fast as he could deeper into the forest. Soon he was completely lost. He saw someone standing next to a tree, and he hoped it wasn't a witch, for he had quite had his fill of witches, let me tell you. Madam, I'm the Frog Prince. Could you help me? Gosh, do you need it? You are the worst-looking frog I have ever seen, said the fairy godmother. No, I'm not a frog. I'm the Frog Prince. And I'm looking for someone who could turn me back into a frog so that I can live happily ever after. Can you do it for me? Well, I'm on my way to the village to see a girl about going to the ball, but I guess I could give it a try. I've never done frogs before, you know. And with that, she waved her magic wand. Bibbidi, bobbidi, boo, and she turned him into a beautiful carriage. The prince could not believe his rotten luck. The sun went down. The forest got spookier, and the prince became more and more frightened. Oh, what an idiot I've been. I could be home with the princess, living happily ever after. But instead, I'm stuck here, in the middle of this stupid forest, turned into a stupid carriage. Now I'll probably just rot and fall apart, and live unhappily ever after. The prince thought these kind of thoughts, and a few worse, too awful to tell, when all at once, far away in the distance, the clock struck 12. The prince instantly turned back into his former prince self, and he ran by the light of the moon until he was safe inside his own castle. "Where have you been?" cried the princess. "You're 7 hours late. Your dinner is cold. I've been worried sick. Your clothes are a mess." The prince looked at the princess, who had believed in him when no one else in the world had. The princess who had actually kissed his slimy frog lips. The princess who loved him. The prince kissed the princess. They both turned into frogs and they hopped off, happily ever after. The end.